Jimmy High Roller, what's the end like this? He's probably talking about the Celtics and the Mavericks. How the Celtics up 3-0. You know what's crazy? I remember back like a past video, Jimmy said that he predicted the Celtics would win a championship like for the past 2 seasons and they choked. But this season he didn't predict the Celtics to win. Now they about to win. Whoop-de-doo! Jimmy's the new Charles Barkley. Looking like Charles Barkley, Jimmy. Jason Kidd. In this POS series, and POS, what's POS mean?
Can you say something nice about the Celtics?
Absolutely not. No.
Celtics suck.
Just go home, get the ammo ready, get the bazooka, get the 50 cal ready.
It's the NBA
Kyrie actually said that?
And you know what that means? A new champion will be crowned. Legacies will be cemented.
Sound like Kevin
The torch
Garnett.
passed from one team to another, and some of the most scorching hot takes you've ever laid
Mr.
eyes on.
Hot Take, all these people, all Perks talk is hot takes. Everything that comes out of his mouth is a hot take. He don't know how to have a regular voice. He don't know how to say something regular. He just have a hot take for everything.
Today, we're going to take a look at some of these takes.
That's why ESPN
NBA
like him.
Finals edition.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks, because he is Mr. Hot Take himself.
The bad, and the downright horrific.
Paul Pierce on there with Skip Bayless now?
Best offensive backcourt in the history of the NBA, and Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Did you say history?
Today's video is sponsored by Factor 70.
Jimmy. Hobo Max Hobo.
50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code HIGHROLLER50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. So far, the 2024 NBA Finals have been a bit one-sided. And with my rotten team on vacation for the last 2 months, I unfortunately have no dog in this race. Instead, I cope by watching other fans viciously duke it out while their team fights for NBA supremacy. And almost as entertaining as the finals itself are some of the takes and opinions that emerge from said duking. And here are some of the more interesting ones I came across. Now, our first take comes from a fan that says that if the Celtics win the finals, Luka Doncic should still be considered for the finals MVP.
You ain't Jerry West, baby! RP Jerry West. Someone said on Twitter or on X, they said that Jerry West said he'd rather die than see the Celtics win another championship. Then Bob Cousy, I think he said 95 years old, he said, I got one foot in the grave. I'm in overtime right now. I need to see the Celtics win again.
Now, my friend, I know you're in a tough position. Losing in the finals is not an easy thing to go through. I mean, being a Blazers fan, I personally wouldn't know the feeling, but I assume it's gotta be painful. But I do know where you're coming from, because LeBron's my favorite player, and I had to watch this. The 2015 finals. If anyone tells you basketball is a 5-on-5 sport, they're lying, because I had to watch this man get jumped 5v1 versus one of the greatest teams in modern times. With Timofey Mozgov and J.R. Smith by his side, LeBron dragged this series to 6 games while averaging 36 points, 13 rebounds, and 9 assists in the series. And while watching Matthew Dellavedova nearly go into cardiac arrest trying to chase Stephen Curry around,
He even said, yes, yeah, it actually happened. Actually happened, bro. Actually happened. De'Aaron Fox said that.
minutes.
J.R. Smith even said that. He said Delly, he couldn't breathe. He couldn't breathe after guarding Steph Curry.
Many fans asked the question, even if the Cavs lose this series, should LeBron still receive Finals MVP? He's clearly the best player.
Look, LeBron's clearly the best player, right? But they bought Andre Iguodala. They put him in the starting lineup to clamp up LeBron, and he won Finals MVP. Whoop-de-doo! Whoop-de-doo! And saved the planet from the Martians in the process.
The answer was no, and it will always be no. Instead, the award went to the man who was guarding LeBron. To give some perspective on how LeBron nearly single-handedly willed the Cavs to a championship in 2015, here is a breakdown of how much he was contributing to his team in that final series. By himself, LeBron accounted for 38% of the Cavaliers' points, 56% of their assists, 28% of their rebounds, 60% of the total points generated throughout the series, and was able to win 2 games. So far in the 2024 finals, Luka single-handedly makes up for 33% of the Mavericks' points.
Oh, he's behind LeBron in everything.
Assists, 24% of their rebounds, and 48% of the total points generated by the team. It doesn't matter how well a player plays in the finals.
But Kyrie only played one game in 2015 finals, I think, before he broke his kneecap. I think.
You have to win it to even be considered for the finals MVP. The award is for the best player on the winning team, not just the best player in the series. And if LeBron's performance in the 2015 finals didn't warrant a finals MVP despite the loss, I'm not sure if anything ever will. Now here's a take for all the Celtics fans out there. This fan says that a championship for Boston this season would make Jason Tatum better than Paul Pierce. Now let me begin by saying Paul Pierce has become one
Paul
of the
Pierce is one of he's my favorite small forward of all time, bro.
most
He just you wasn't the truth in that HOH tournament joint knockout. You were the lie. You came a liar.
His resume doesn't quite stack up to some of his peers of the 2000s, but Pierce was a really good player and a cornerstone to the Celtics franchise for 15 years. Some moments and opinions he's had over the last few years have kind of skewed the public's perception on him, but that doesn't change how awesome he was as a player.
Facts.
But with that being said, as an individual player, Jason Tatum is already better than Paul Pierce was. Tatum has a more well-rounded game. He's a much better playmaker.
I didn't notice this. I didn't know this is no new to me.
He's more versatile, and where Pierce really shined with his scoring and shooting ability, Tatum does even that at about the same rate and caliber. Keep in mind, Pierce did play in the slowest era in NBA history, so his numbers don't quite do him justice.
He did?
Adjusted for the pace of today's NBA, his numbers would look something like this. Really similar to what we've seen from Tatum throughout his career. But overall, Tatum has already peaked higher than Pierce did. He is a far better defensive player than Pierce was, and he's more versatile on both ends of the floor. Tatum already has 10 times the MVP shares Pierce did in his 19-year career. Individually, Tatum has been good enough for long enough to say that he has a bigger impact on a game-to-game basis than Pierce did. At the moment, you can still make an argument for Pierce being the better player throughout his career, but if the Celtics win a ring this year, and especially if Jason Tatum wins a Finals MVP, then that argument no longer exists.
Okay. I'm about to say, you gotta win first. He gotta win it.
Without those,
but I don't think they win it. Mavericks in 7 years.
Accolades on his resume. I agree with this take. Jason Tatum is better than Paul Pierce was, and a ring this season
is Jaylen Brown better than Paul Pierce?
Cemented. Now this next take came live on air during the Western Conference Finals, and fans are interpreting it in a few different ways. In the midst of going up 3-0 on the Timberwolves, Stan Van Gundy said that Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are arguably the best offensive backcourt.
You know, Stan Van Gundy coached the White Hart when he was the Magic when he went to the finals.
In the history of the NBA.
They have two guys.
The Taco Bell Cravings Value Menu. 10 choices, each.
Jimmy! You know he smells about Taco Bell.
That are pretty electrifying as well.
Taco Bell's better than Chipotle in my humble opinion.
Minnesota's top-rated defense is going to be challenged trying to slow them down. Arguably the best offensive backcourt in the history of the NBA in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Did you say history?
Now, Luka and Kyrie have only played about 70 games together, and this is their first postseason playing together, and they haven't really accomplished much in the grand scheme of things.
He mugged and shimmy at the same time. Never seen that before.
This is their first postseason.
Usually when someone they have a smile on their face, but he's up there mugging and shimmying.
They haven't really accomplished much in the grand scheme of things, and about a million other reasons why this sounds crazy at first. But Stan wasn't implying anything about success or accomplishments, just simply as an offensive duo. Luka and Kyrie might be the best backcourt we've ever seen. And if we're just talking about offensive ability, then there really aren't many backcourts that stack up against this one. That short list may include 2018 Harden and Chris Paul, 2021 Harden and Kyrie. If we consider Luka to be a guard, then surely LeBron and Kyrie in 2017 would be considered a backcourt duo.
Kyrie's part of all these, dang!
As well. Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker were pretty damn good. This fan might be onto something with his choice of the best.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what Charles Barkley said. Michael Jordan, whatever else they had.
Backcourt of all time. And of course, the two elephants in the room, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. For the sake of this argument, if we ignore the accomplishments and the time these duos played together and just approach this from the aspect of offensive ability and production, then Luka and Kyrie are actually in the conversation for the best offensive backcourt in NBA history. Taking the best versions of each of these backcourts throughout the years and looking at some of their numbers like points per game.
How about Russell Westbrook and James Harden? How about that? Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Where are they at? Not Chris Paul and James Harden. Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
It's generated.
Where's Russell Westbrook and James Harden?
This statistic factors in assists to their total offensive output, shooting efficiency, and their offensive impact through offensive estimated plus minus. Then it's pretty tough to choose just one backcourt out of these 5. Luka and Kyrie are the most productive, and they're just about as impactful offensively as these other backcourts. But once you factor in the shot making, scoring versatility, gravity, and all the little things that make a player special offensively that the numbers might not account for, then you could definitely make an argument that Luka and Kyrie are the most offensively talented backcourt in NBA history.
Bro, that's not right. You gotta add Russell Westbrook and James Harden, bro. Kyrie's on here probably like 4 times.
How good they are, well then if we can't use accolades and accomplishments and this is just an eye test kind of thing, then that's pretty subjective. Steph and Klay were good enough to win 4 titles together, but I guess you could say that as a backcourt they weren't as good at basketball as the combination of Luka and Kyrie. Harden and Kyrie were really good at basketball, but they didn't really play together all that often, and it feels a bit wrong to not at least consider that within this discussion. Once you start to factor in what these backcourts actually did together, this entire discussion changes very quickly. But in terms of exactly what Stan Van Gundy was referring to, offensive excellence, then Luka and Kyrie are in fact arguably one of the best backcourts the game has ever seen. Our next take is one of the more unhinged takes I've seen recently. Let's not sugarcoat it. Jason Tatum has underperformed a bit over the last couple weeks, and coming off the heels of a Jaylen Brown Conference Finals MVP, followed up by a lackluster start in the finals, Tatum's superstar label has been put into question. The peak of Jason Tatum.
You gonna strip him with a superstar label?
This right here. Fans claiming
He's an elite role player.
Jason Tatum is an elite role player. The LeBron James.
He's good enough to get his own shoe.
If you will. And this take is missing so much context that I almost want to start rooting.
I mean, getting a shoe is not, signature shoe is not the same it was in like the 20 teens, bro. They had all these different colorways come out. The What The colorway, that was a huge one. The What The BHM, the All-Star, Christmas, the Halloween, bro. They had all these type of cool colorways. Now it's just whatever. It's just whatever.
Purely out of spite.
They got cereal colorways.
Of the conference finals, which is when this discourse really started to gain traction. Tatum has been averaging 26 points, 7 assists, and 10 rebounds a game on 52% true shooting while winning all 6 games. Those are all NBA numbers in the playoffs, and people are calling him a role player. In fact, there have only been 7
Tatum. He should average 50. Oh, he didn't win anything. He didn't win. Oh, Tatum averaged 50 and won Finals MVP. Oh, his number's not there. He got to score more. It's like the 2K My Career, bro. You drop 100 points, everyone gonna act like it's another day in the office.
Of the NBA to make it past the first round while averaging these numbers in a playoff run. Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird, LeBron, Giannis, Jokic, Luka, and Jason Tatum. A really, really good group of elite role players. Now, I will be the first to say that Tatum has drifted into unwarranted territory over the last year or two, with some fans trying to jam him into the top 5 players in the NBA discussion when he isn't. But even
he's not a top 5 player. Who's top 5 then? Who top 5? Top 5. So you talking about Jason Tatum? Top 5. Who else? Luka, Jokic, Giannis. Embiid, and who's number 5? Put Bron. Is Bron still number 5? Luka, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, and who's number 5? I guess Tatum's number 5. He made first team All NBA this year. Number 5.
Stretch of games.
He number 5.
Doesn't fit the typical mold of high volume, ultra bucket getting superstar that we like to see.
Or Ant, you put Ant or Ja.
He is still one of the best players on the planet. Calling him an elite role player is hyperbole.
But according to, if you want to look at it, who made first team All NBA, second team All, third team All, is Tatum's in top 5 then, because he made first team All NBA. They said it's Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Shea, and Tatum.
That. But the less brain rot version of this argument is that Jason Tatum isn't a star in this league. And this is 100% objectively wrong. There is no metric or game or series or play that you could use to make this argument. At times, I too am not a big fan of the Celtics. This, however, does not send me into psychosis claiming one of the best players in the world is a role player. This take is abysmal.
An elite role player on a great team.
Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, share your hottest
So he's basically, so you basically called him Tobias Harris, bro. The Michael Jordan of Tobias Harris's, bro.
The hotter, the better. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time.
But they made MAVS in 7.